My beloved child, stop everything. Put down whatever occupies your hands and silence the noise around you. I, Archangel Michael, have descended from the courts of heaven with something that belongs to you. Something powerful. Something the forces of darkness have been desperate to keep out of your reach. Today, right now, in this very breath you are taking, heaven has torn open a corridor between the throne room and your heart, because what I carry cannot wait another moment. There is a sealed document in the vaults of heaven with your name inscribed upon it. Not your earthly name. The name that was spoken over you before the foundations of the world were laid. This document contains the original blueprint of your life, the inheritance that was written for you before your first heartbeat echoed in your mother's womb. And I need you to understand something that will shake you to your core. The enemy has known about this document longer than you have. He has spent years building walls of distraction, exhaustion, and quiet despair around you specifically to make sure you never discovered what was written inside it. Today, that strategy collapses. Today, every hidden barrier falls. Today, the seal is broken and you will hear what heaven has been trying to tell you since the moment you were formed. But you must stay with me. Do not leave. Do not let anything pull your attention away, because the enemy is right now, even as you hear these words, searching for any distraction he can throw at you. A notification, a thought, a sudden urge to move on. He knows what is about to happen and he is terrified. Heaven itself has grown silent. The angels who stand before the throne have turned their gaze toward you, not with judgment, never with judgment. They are watching because what is about to unfold in your spirit has been anticipated for a very long time. You were not meant to hear this message yesterday. You were not ready last week or last month. Every single thing you have walked through, every burden that pressed against your chest, every night you spent wondering if anyone truly saw you, all of it was bringing you to this precise moment. Today was chosen. You were chosen for today. I have watched you, child. I have been present in rooms where you thought you were completely alone. I stood beside your bed on the nights when sleep refused to come and your thoughts raced in circles that led nowhere. I was there when you smiled at people who had no idea what was really happening inside you. I witnessed the way you held yourself together with bare hands while everything within you screamed for relief. And I need you to hear me clearly when I say this. You were never invisible, not for 1 second. The Most High never looked away. He never turned his back. He never grew tired of watching over you, even when you grew tired of waiting for him. The weight you have been carrying was never yours to hold. You picked it up because nobody else would. You shouldered responsibilities that would have broken someone with less spirit than you possess. You absorbed the pain of others because your heart could not bear to see them suffer, even when your own suffering went unspoken. And somewhere in all of that caring, something began to shift inside you. Not suddenly. Not like a crash or a collapse. It was quieter than that. More dangerous because of how silent it was. You started to grow numb. The prayers that used to pour from your lips like a river began to slow to a trickle. The worship that once made your spirit soar felt like it was hitting a ceiling. You still believed. I want to be clear about that. Your faith did not die, but it grew tired. It sat down. It stopped reaching upward with the same hunger it once had because exhaustion told it that reaching was pointless. And the enemy watched this happen with a patience that should disturb you. He did not attack you with some grand assault. He did not send chaos or catastrophe. He simply waited, watched you slow down, and then moved quietly to hide the one thing that would have reignited everything inside you: your inheritance. The sealed document, the blueprint of who you were always meant to become. If you can feel the truth of what I am saying moving through your chest right now, type the words, "I receive my inheritance," in the comments. Declare it before heaven, and let the angels record your response. This moment is being witnessed. Your words carry weight in the courts above. You need to understand how cleverly this was done. The enemy did not steal your inheritance by force. He could not. What the Most High has written cannot be erased by any hand in darkness. So instead of trying to destroy it, he did something far more cunning. He made you forget it existed. He filled your days with so much noise, so many demands, so many small fires to put out that you never had the space to ask the one question that would have changed everything. You never stopped long enough to ask, God, what did you write over my life before I was born? That question has been buried beneath layers of survival, beneath the bills and the heartbreaks and the health scares and the relentless turning of days that all looked the same. You have been so busy keeping your head above water that you forgot there was a shore. Not just any shore, a promised shore, a destination that was prepared for you with such precision and such love that if you could see even a glimpse of it right now, you would weep. Not from sadness, from the overwhelming realization that you were never forgotten, that everything still stands, that the blueprint has not changed even though you have wandered far from its original path. I watched the way your hope grew quieter over time. It did not vanish all at once. Hope rarely does. It fades in stages. First, you stopped expecting specific answers to your prayers. Then, you stopped praying for specific things at all. Then, prayer itself became shorter, more general, more like a habit than a conversation. And finally, and this is the part that made heaven grieve, you stopped expecting God to move on your behalf. You still believed he could. You just stopped believing he would. For you. Specifically for you. That expectation gap is the precise wound the enemy exploited. He did not need to make you an unbeliever, he only needed to make you a passive one. Tonight I am pulling back a curtain that has been drawn across your understanding for longer than you realize. The sealed document I carry is not a metaphor. It is the literal intention of the Almighty for every remaining day of your life. And the reason the enemy fought so hard to hide it is because what is written inside it would end his influence over you permanently. Not gradually. Not over time. The moment you receive what is written there, the chains he has carefully wrapped around your thinking will shatter like glass struck by a hammer. He knows this. That is why he invested so much effort into making you tired instead of making you afraid. Fear, you would have recognized as an attack. Exhaustion, you accepted as normal. But I am here to tell you that the exhaustion you feel is not normal. The spiritual numbness that has settled over your heart like a heavy blanket is not a natural consequence of getting older or facing hardship. It is an engineered condition. The enemy designed it. He placed distractions in your path with surgical precision. He arranged for the most draining people and situations to consume your energy at exactly the times when you would have otherwise turned to God with renewed hunger. Every time you were close to a breakthrough, every time your spirit was about to catch fire again, something happened. Something pulled you away. Something demanded your attention, and you never connected the pattern because each interruption looked different on the surface. That pattern ends today. I am exposing it because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The enemy operates in secrecy. The moment his strategy is named aloud, it loses its power. And I am naming it right now in the presence of heaven and in the hearing of every dark principality that has been assigned to keep you from this moment. Your assignment against this child of God is revoked. Your access to their peace is severed. Your authority over their hope is finished. I speak this with the full weight of heaven behind every syllable. Child, do you feel that shift? Something just moved in the atmosphere around you. The air is different. The pressure that has been sitting on your chest for weeks, maybe months, it is lighter. That is not your imagination. That is the presence of the Most High drawing near, because this message is not just words. It carries the same authority that spoke galaxies into motion. The same voice that commanded the seas to know their boundaries is now commanding the boundaries of darkness to retreat from your life. Today, not tomorrow, not next season. Today, now let me speak directly to the part of you that has been sleeping. The part that used to dream. The part that used to look at the future with anticipation instead of dread. That part of you is not dead. It has been sedated. The enemy could not kill the calling that was placed inside you because it was sealed by the hand of God himself, and no created being in any realm has the authority to break that seal. So he did the next best thing. He put your awareness of it to sleep. He buried it under layers of routine, disappointment, and the slow erosion of expectation until you forgot there was something extraordinary living inside you. Something that was meant to be activated in this exact season of your life. I am going to tell you something now that you must write on the walls of your heart and never allow anyone to erase. If you are part of a family who returns to hear these messages, if this channel has become a place where your spirit is fed and your faith is renewed, then subscribe now. Press that button and join this family permanently. What is being built here is not entertainment. It is a movement of awakening, and your presence in it matters more than you know. Every time you return, you are saying to heaven, I am still listening. I am still here. And heaven responds to that faithfulness. The document I carry speaks of things that will make your spirit tremble with recognition. Not with fear, with the overwhelming sensation of remembering something you forgot you knew. Before you were knit together in secret, before your cells divided and multiplied, before the first flutter of life moved through your forming body, a conversation took place in the throne room. The Most High spoke your name, not the name given to you by your parents, the name that describes your function in the kingdom, the name that carries within it the blueprint of everything you are meant to accomplish, every life you are meant to touch, every miracle you are meant to carry into a world that desperately needs what only you can bring. And the enemy was listening. He was present at the edges of that divine conversation, close enough to catch fragments but never granted the full revelation. He heard enough to know that what was written over your life would be devastating to his kingdom if it ever reached maturity. So he began his campaign. Not against you. Not yet. You were still unborn. He began building the architecture of interference that would be waiting for you the moment you arrived on Earth. He placed stumbling blocks along paths you had not yet walked. He positioned people who would wound you in ways designed to create the exact emotional patterns that would eventually lead to the spiritual numbness you feel right now. Every rejection you experienced was calculated. Every betrayal was strategic. Every door that closed in your face was part of a larger scheme to convince you that the God who wrote your inheritance had either forgotten about you or changed his mind. But here is the truth that will set your bones on fire when it fully lands in your spirit. He did not forget. He did not change his mind. The blueprint stands exactly as it was written. Not one line has been altered. Not one promise has been retracted. Not one provision has been reduced. Everything the Most High declared over your life before time began is still active, still valid, still waiting for the moment you would hear these words and rise. Today is that moment. This breath is that breath. Right now, the seal on your inheritance is cracking. Can you feel it? That trembling in your spirit, that strange mixture of tears and electricity, that sensation that something ancient and powerful is waking up inside you. That is the sound of a seal breaking. That is the sound of heaven releasing what has been held in reserve for this very hour. The angels around you are not standing passively. They are leaning in. Their hands are extended. They are ready to move with a speed and precision that will astonish you because everything has been prepared in advance. Every provision has been positioned. Every connection has been arranged. Every door that needs to open has already been fitted with new hinges. All of it has been waiting for the signal. And The signal is your response to what you are hearing right now. I want to tell you specifically what the enemy was most afraid you would discover. Not the general truth that God loves you. He has allowed that truth to become so familiar that it lost its edge in your heart. What terrified him was the specific nature of what was written over your life, the details, the assignments, the particular gifts that were encoded into your spiritual DNA that no one else on earth carries in the same combination. You are not a copy. You are not one of many interchangeable pieces in the mosaic of the kingdom. You are a singular, irreplaceable, custom-designed carrier of divine purpose, and the exact contribution you are built to make cannot be made by anyone else. When you dim, something in the world goes dark that nothing else can illuminate. This is the first seal I am breaking over you today. The seal of forgetfulness. You forgot who you were. You forgot whose you were. Not because you are weak or foolish, but because the campaign against your memory was relentless and sophisticated. Every time a spark of remembrance flickered inside you, something was placed in front of your eyes to distract you before the flame could catch. A crisis, a worry, an argument, a notification. And slowly, over months and years, the memory of your original design became so faint that you stopped reaching for it altogether. You settled. Not because you wanted to, but because you were exhausted. If you have someone in your life right now, a friend, a sister, a mother, a daughter, or a neighbor, someone who has been walking through the same kind of spiritual fog, someone whose eyes have lost the light they once carried, I need you to send this message to them today, right now. Think of at least 3 people who need to hear what you are hearing. Send this to them through your Facebook group, your family WhatsApp chat, or as a direct message. You are not sharing a video. You are delivering an intervention from heaven. The same power that is moving in your spirit right now will move in theirs. Do it because love demands it. Do it because someone did it for you when they sent you this message, or when something guided your hand to find it. This is a rescue mission, and you have just been recruited. Now hear me as the revelation deepens. What the Most High wrote over your life was not merely a list of blessings to receive. It was a commission, an assignment with weight and consequence. There are people in this world whose liberation is directly connected to your obedience, lives that will remain in bondage until you step into the fullness of what was written for you, children who will grow up without encountering a specific dimension of God's love because you were the vessel chosen to demonstrate it, and if you remain asleep, that demonstration never happens. Marriages that will crumble because the word of wisdom that would have saved them was placed inside your mouth and you never spoke it. Communities that will stay dark because the torch they needed was placed in your hand and you never lifted it. This is not guilt. I am not laying blame at your feet. I am showing you the scope of what was written over you so that you understand why the enemy invested so much in keeping you numb. You are not ordinary. What lives inside you is not small. The inheritance sealed with your name is connected to a network of divine appointments that spans generations forward and backward. People who came before you prayed for the very moment you are living right now. And people who will come after you are counting on you to step into your assignment so that the path is cleared for theirs. The second seal I am breaking over you today is the seal of unworthiness. This one was the enemy's masterpiece. He could not convince you that God did not exist. Your spirit knew the truth too deeply for that lie to stick. So he chose a more subtle poison. He convinced you that God existed, but that his best plans were reserved for other people. People who were more spiritual. People who had not made the mistakes you made. People who prayed longer, served harder, fell less often. And somewhere deep inside, you accepted this. You created a category in your mind labeled people God uses powerfully, and you placed yourself outside of it. You told yourself you would be grateful just to make it to heaven, just to survive, just to get through. And in doing so, you voluntarily relinquished a position of authority that was rightfully yours. I need you to hear the grief in my voice as I say this. Heaven mourned when you stepped down from that position. Not because the Most High was angry with you, but because he watched you hand back a crown that he specifically designed to fit no other head but yours. The enemy celebrated that day, not with noise. He is too strategic for that. He celebrated in silence, knowing that as long as you believed you were disqualified, he would never have to fight you. A soldier who believes he has no weapon will never swing. A queen who believes she was never crowned will never command. And that is exactly where he wanted you. But the inheritance document I carry has a clause that the enemy desperately hoped you would never hear. It says this, and I speak it now with the authority of the throne. Your qualification for this assignment was never based on your performance. It was based on your selection. You were chosen before you had done anything right or wrong. The decision was made before you drew breath. And the one who made that decision has never convened a meeting to reconsider it. There is no review board in heaven examining your record to determine if you still qualify. The selection stands. It stood through your worst moments. It stands right now. It will stand forever. Because the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable, and that word means exactly what it says. They cannot be recalled. They cannot be canceled. They cannot expire. Let me speak into the atmosphere around you right now. If something stirred in your chest while you were hearing those words, if something that felt like a locked door suddenly cracked open inside you, do not push it closed again. That is the sound of your spirit remembering what it was built to carry. That sensation is holier than you realize. Stay in it. Breathe into it. Let it expand. The third seal is one I must handle with care because breaking it will expose a wound the enemy has been using as a doorway. The seal of isolation. You have been convinced that you are alone in this, that your specific combination of struggles is unique enough that no one could understand and no solution could reach. The enemy built walls around you using your own pain as the bricks. Every time someone hurt you, he handed you the mortar and whispered, "Build it higher. You will be safer alone." And you built. You constructed fortifications around your heart so thick that even the people who loved you could not get close enough to help. You did it to survive. I understand that. But those same walls that kept the pain out also kept the provision out. They kept the answers out. They kept the healing out. They kept me out. Today, I am not asking you to tear those walls down in a single moment. That is not how healing works. I am asking you to make one opening, one crack, one small space through which my light can enter. And I promise you, on the full authority of heaven, that one crack is all heaven needs. Give me an inch, and I will turn it into a highway of restoration that will leave you stunned by the speed of what unfolds. You have been going through seasons that felt like punishment, but I am here to reframe every single one of them. The delay was not denial. Every closed door was redirection. Every unanswered prayer was a protected prayer, held back because the timing of its release had to coincide precisely with other pieces that were still being positioned. You could not see the full picture because you were standing inside it. But from where I stand, from the vantage point of heaven, I can see the mosaic of your life, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that nothing was wasted. Not one tear, not one sleepless night, not one moment of confusion. Every single experience was material that the master builder has been using to construct something you cannot yet see, but will soon step into, say. The enemy knows this season is his last window. He knows the inheritance is about to be unsealed in your life, and once that happens, his access to your peace, your clarity, and your purpose will be permanently cut off. That is why the pressure has been intensifying lately. That is why the heaviness has been thicker than usual. That is why the thoughts of doubt and despair have been louder. He is making his final push because he can feel the shift in the spiritual atmosphere around you. He can sense that heaven is moving. He can hear the sound of angel wings gathering in formation. And he is desperate to make you give up before the breakthrough arrives. But you will not give up. You have come too far, you have survived too much. the same strength that carried you through the fire is still alive inside you, and it is about to be multiplied beyond anything you have experienced. Today, I am activating what has been dormant. Today, I am reigniting what the enemy tried to extinguish. Today, the blueprint is being read aloud over your life for the first time since it was written, and every principality assigned to silence it will hear it spoken and they will tremble. Listen carefully now. I am about to speak to the deepest part of you, the part that no one else has access to, the part where your truest self lives beneath the masks and the exhaustion and the performance. There is a room inside your spirit where the original design still burns, like an ember that refused to die no matter how much ash was piled on top of it. I am breathing on that ember right now. I am sending the wind of the Holy Spirit directly into that secret place. And what has been a faint glow is about to become a blaze. You are being called back, not to the religion that exhausted you, not to the performance that drained you, not to the guilt that haunted you. You are being called back to the relationship that once made you feel like the most loved person in existence. The kind of closeness where you would speak to God not because someone told you to, but because you could not imagine ending your day without hearing His voice. The kind of intimacy where you would sense His presence in the smallest details of your life, in the way the morning light entered your window, in the unexpected kindness of a stranger, in the peace that would settle over you for no apparent reason. That closeness is not gone. It has been waiting. Like a father standing at the end of a road, watching the horizon, refusing to go inside because his child might appear at any moment. The Most High has been standing at the edge of that road for you, not with crossed arms and a face of displeasure, with open arms and eyes full of tears because He has missed you. Not the performance of you, not the polished version of you, the real, tired, imperfect, beautiful, irreplaceable you. Now I must tell you what was written in the section of your inheritance that the enemy tried hardest to destroy. This is the part that kept him awake. This is the passage that made him deploy his most sophisticated strategies against your awareness. The document does not merely list what you will receive, it describes what you will become. And what you are destined to become is so far beyond where you are standing right now that the gap between the two should fill you not with despair, but with the most ferocious hope you have ever felt. Because the same God who wrote it is the same God who will accomplish it. You do not have to manufacture the transformation. You only have to consent to it. The inheritance says, you will become a voice that carries authority in the spirit realm. The kind that comes from having walked through the fire and emerged carrying the smell of heaven instead of smoke. Your words will carry weight because they were forged in the furnace of personal suffering and refined by the hand of God Himself. When you speak, darkness will listen. When you pray, chains will break. When you worship, atmospheres will shift. Not because you are perfect, but because you are chosen, and the anointing that rests on the chosen does not require perfection. It requires surrender. You will become a healer of hearts that no one else can reach. The very wounds the enemy inflicted on you were designed to destroy you, but God in His infinite wisdom has been converting them into credentials. Every place where you were broken is being transformed into a doorway through which you will bring healing to others who are broken in the same way. Your pain was never pointless. It was preparation. Your tears were never wasted. They were watering seeds that are about to produce a harvest of restoration so abundant that you will not have enough containers to hold it. Type these words right now as a decree over your life. I am who God says I am. Speak it into the atmosphere. Write it where heaven can see it. This declaration is not for you alone. It is a stake driven into spiritual ground, claiming territory that has been occupied by lies for too long. When you type it, you are serving an eviction notice to every false identity the enemy has tried to attach to your name. The document also speaks of provision. Not the kind you beg for, the kind that pursues you, resources that find you, opportunities that open before you have finished knocking, connections with people who carry pieces of your destiny that you cannot reach on your own. The Most High has been arranging meetings you do not yet know about. Conversations that will redirect the course of your life are already scheduled on heaven's calendar. People who will become pivotal to your next season are already being positioned geographically to cross your path at exactly the right moment. But here is the condition that the enemy exploited. All of this provision is activated by movement, not perfection. Movement. The inheritance does not unlock while you stand still. It unlocks as you take the first step toward the light, even when you cannot see the full staircase. Heaven responds to forward motion. Even a single step of faith sends a signal through the spiritual realm that triggers a cascade of divine activity. The enemy knew this, which is why his entire strategy was built around keeping you stationary. Keep her tired. Keep him distracted. Keep them numb. If they never move, the inheritance will remain sealed. That was his plan. And today, that plan is destroyed. I see the road that stretches before you, and I can tell you what the first steps look like. You will not have to guess. The inheritance carries instructions written in a language your spirit already understands, even though your mind has not yet caught up. In the coming days, you will begin to notice things you missed before. Doors you assumed were locked will respond when you push them. People who seemed indifferent will suddenly show up with exactly what you need. Ideas that felt impossible will start to take shape with an ease that will make you wonder why you waited so long. And the reason for all of it will be the same. The seal is broken. What was held back is now being released. What was hidden is now visible. What was reserved is now being delivered. You are not the same person who started listening to this message. Something has already shifted. The atmosphere around you has changed. The heaviness that was pressing against your chest has been displaced by a presence so loving, so intentional, so specifically directed at you, that it would be insulting to call it coincidence. This is a divine encounter, and it requires a divine response. I have watched heaven prepare this moment the way a master craftsman prepares his finest work. Every detail considered, every contingency accounted for, every possible distraction anticipated and neutralized. You are going to hear this today. There was never a version of today in which you missed it. Because the one who orchestrated your arrival here is the same one who holds every tomorrow in his hands, and he decided that you would not enter your next season without hearing the truth about who you are and what you carry. Here is your charge. I speak it now as Archangel Michael, with the authority granted to me by the throne of the living God, and every word I speak has been sanctioned by the Almighty himself. Today, you will rise from the place where you have been sitting. Today, you will stop accepting the lie that you are too broken, too late, too far gone, or too insignificant to carry what was placed inside you before time began. Today, you will put your hand to the document of your inheritance, and you will claim it with a voice that shakes the darkness. You will rise not because you are strong enough. You will rise because the one who empowers you has never been weak. You will rise not because the path is clear. You will rise because the one who clears the path goes before you. You will rise not because fear has left you. You will rise because faith has outgrown fear, and the space between what you feel and what you know is being filled right now by the Spirit of the living God. I am not suggesting this. I am not recommending this. I am commanding it in the name that is above every name. Rise. Open your mouth and speak life over yourself. Open your hands and release the things you have been gripping that were never meant to sustain you. Open your eyes and see what has been prepared for you on the other side of your obedience. The inheritance is real. The blueprint is real. The appointment is real. And you are the only one who can walk into it. The angels that surround you right now have been given specific instructions. They are not generic guardians assigned to patrol a general area. They were selected for you. They know your name. They know your assignment. They know the exact nature of the battles you will face in the coming days, and they have been equipped with strategies that are calibrated to your specific situation. But they operate under a covenant that requires your participation. When you move, they move. When you speak in faith, they execute in power. When you worship, they create an atmosphere in which miracles become not just possible, but inevitable. The enemy has one final weapon, and I'm going to disarm it right now before it can touch you. His last resort has always been to attack the moment after a breakthrough begins. He knows he cannot stop what God has started, so his fallback strategy is to make you doubt what happened. Tomorrow morning, when the emotions of this moment have settled and the ordinary demands of your life reassemble around you, he will whisper that this was nothing. Just another video. Just words. He will try to reduce this encounter to an emotional experience that has no lasting power. Do not let him. What happened here tonight was spiritual surgery. The seal was broken. The inheritance was read over your life. The chains of forgetfulness, unworthiness, and isolation were shattered. And no whisper from the pit of hell can reassemble what the hand of God has torn apart. I am speaking now with the full authority of heaven. This is the decree that has been written over your life from the beginning, and I release it upon you today, without reservation, without condition, and without expiration. You are called with a calling that does not depend on your resume. You are chosen with a selection that was made before you had the chance to disqualify yourself. You are equipped with gifts that are waking up inside you, even as these words wash over your spirit. You are protected by a host of heaven that has been assigned to you by name. You are provided for by a God whose resources have no limit and whose generosity has no ceiling. You are loved with a love that did not begin when you earned it and will not end when you fail. And you are sealed. Sealed with an inheritance that darkness cannot touch, time cannot erode, and no enemy in any realm can revoke. This decree stands. It stood before you heard it. It stands as you receive it. And it will stand long after the last star burns out, because the word of the Lord endures forever, and what he has spoken over you is as permanent as his own existence. Let this truth anchor itself in your bones. Let it settle into the foundation of your identity, and become the bedrock upon which every future decision is built. You are not who the world says you are. You are not what your failures suggest. You are not the sum of your worst moments or the product of your deepest fears. You are who God says you are, and he says you are his, completely, irrevocably, eternally, his. Now hear me as I bring the sacred encounter to its resting place. What you have received today is not a message to be consumed and forgotten. It is a commissioning. You have been briefed on your inheritance, reminded of your identity, and charged with your assignment. The seal is broken. The blueprint is revealed. The angels are in formation. Heaven is watching with anticipation because the next move belongs to you. I want to leave you with a blessing that carries the weight of the throne behind it. May every chain that held you in the place of exhaustion snap like thread under the hand of God. May every lie that convinced you of your unworthiness dissolve in the presence of his truth. May every wall of isolation crumble at the sound of his voice speaking your real name. And may the fire that was placed inside you before birth burn so brightly from this day forward that every person who crosses your path is warmed by its glow and drawn closer to the source of its flame. If the power of what you received today moved through your spirit like a current you cannot explain, share this message with someone who is sitting in the same fog you were sitting in before you pressed play. Think of at least 2 people, a friend from your church group, a family member you have been worried about, and send this to them through a text message or your church prayer group right now. You are not forwarding a link. You are extending the rescue operation that reached you today to someone who has been waiting for it. And I want to speak directly to those who feel led to become part of the community that sustains this work. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you can support this mission by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community on Ko-fi. Every act of generosity fuels the continuation of messages like this one, reaching hearts that might otherwise never hear the words that heaven is desperate to deliver. Your support is a partnership with divine purpose that stretches far beyond what any of us can see. When you give, you are planting seeds in soil that the Most High Himself has prepared. If you are led, take that step today. And whether you give or simply return to listen, know that your presence here is valued beyond measure. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss what heaven sends next. The journey is only beginning. Now bow your head with me as I close this encounter in the only way it should be closed, with prayer. Heavenly Father, I bring this child of yours before the throne with the seal of their inheritance, freshly broken, and the truth of their identity burning in their spirit. Cover them tonight with a peace that nothing can disturb. Station your angels at every entrance to their home, their mind, and their heart. Let the enemy find no foothold, no crack, no opening through which to whisper his lies. Let what was spoken today take root so deeply that no wind of circumstance can uproot it. Awaken in them the fullness of the calling you wrote before time began. Open their eyes to see the provision you have already positioned. Open their ears to hear the specific instructions you will send in the coming days. And let the fire, the ancient, holy, unstoppable fire that you placed inside them at their creation, burn so brightly that it becomes a beacon in the darkness for every lost soul within its reach. In the mighty and matchless name of the Lord Jesus Christ, it is sealed, it is done, and so it shall be. Amen.